Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys Podcast, brought to you by ShortTrackExclusives.com. I'm your host, Thomas Faddis, alongside two other Short Track guys in the studio, as always. Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07 Can'tQuitFishing.com sportsman and 2021 sportsman champion here locally at Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. And Ted Baber Video Productions, also at Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. What's up, guys?
Good evening.
What's up?
Yeah, and we've got an exciting episode coming up here. We're going to do the sportsman update here, August 12th, coming up with our next event here locally at Five Flag Speedway. And we've got a doubleheader. I want to call it a triple header, really, but a doubleheader here Friday and Saturday night. The pro late models, the super late models, and then the modifieds and mayhem this past weekend. We got some shout outs that we want to get out there and throw some names and congratulations to some success. And we've got a special guest that's returning from an episode 17. Racing Has a Rose. His name's Christian Rose, and we're going to bring him on here in just a few minutes. But we're going to cover some of this stuff and clean it up and get him on here and kind of catch up on what Christian's got going on in his stable. So, Jim, we've got August 12th coming up with the Demolition Derby included in that series.
Going to be a good show. Always is. A demo derby is always fun to watch. One of the biggest crowd pleasers, I believe. I mean, they kind of like to watch us beat and bang too. So it's
Yeah.
it's kind of important if we get our race director would stop with the not passing to the start finish line and let us play. It would be a lot more exciting for the fans. Just my opinion. But just to report, we're working on the car. We're making some adjustments, changes, working on Ben's 343. But I picked up a new sponsor, and I'm proud to welcome Escarosa Tree Service, Robert Smith. If you need a tree service, look him up. He came up to me Friday night. I'm wrapping the hood and putting him on the hood. And thank you so much for all your help with Rich Bonneberger with All Pools and Victor Herm at Premier Window Tinting. So that worked out really good for me. Just out there helping my buddy with his pure stock, and I picked up a sponsor. So that was kind of cool. But also got the Outlaw Stock race was controversial at the end. We didn't talk about that. The end of the race, Bubba Winslow turns Todd Jones in the fence after the race is over.
Right.
I'm waiting to see if he gets probation like I did.
Well,
I mean, I'd like to see some consistency. That's the calls with the jump and the start, stuff like that out there right now aren't being consistent. Not bashing the racetrack. I'm just saying that if a race director is going to make a call, he needs to be consistent.
all rules, the rules for everybody, make it equal.
Exactly. I mean, I'll abide by whatever you want, but as long as you put it on everybody else, because there's a couple times I've been passed before the start-finish line. I'm looking over at the guy looking up at the tower like, are we going to do something about this? Or, of course, nothing was done. It was some good racing. I mean, the Outlaw Stock race was actually pretty good.
Really good.
And what happened between Winslow and Todd is Todd got into him. Bubba tried to chop him off. Todd barely touched him. Bubba spun, and after the race, Bubba spins him on a front stretch with officials there.
Right. A lot of people.
I'm a good friends with Bubba Winslow, but I think it's time to sit him down and do something about it because that was ridiculous. The pure stock race was won by Robert Loper. The car I helped we run top 5. We actually qualified third with Mike Gorham behind the wheel of Ben Cranford's 343. Ben can't drive right now, so that ended up being a pretty good show.
Only the second race.
Second time in that car, and he raced 10 years prior to that. So we finished 5th in the first one, finished 5th in the second one. We qualified third, and that's what happened on the restart. The 24 car went underneath the guy on the pole, and they didn't do anything about it. And we ended up dropping back to 6th, but driving back up, finishing 5th. Not a bad race. We still got some work to do on the car to make him happy because he's not used to driving like Ben. But good, all in all, it was a good night of racing. And then the super lates were in the pro late race was just
They were outstanding.
incredible races.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that Alan Turner Pro Late Model race on Friday night with
Swallots.
Yeah. Sawallich won it, but I tell you what, Gavin Graham put on a show.
Oh, Gavin Graham would have won that race hands down if that caution had to come out. And then he got punted by Reggio Rosario. I didn't really like that. I thought it was kind of cruddy, but I'm going to tell you something. That kid last year at the Derby was one that it could have ended very poorly for him. Broke his neck.
He evaporated that truck.
Oh, Jesus, yes. That was a scary crash. And then to come back and drive that late model like that, that kid's got a lot of talent.
Yes, he does.
I was very impressed.
Yep. I mean, and not the premier equipment, but he had good stuff, and he just put it on him.
Kurt Brett's got good equipment. Yeah. For a pro late model that has never run that good,
yeah.
And to lead, he led on, except for that caution. If I had that caution to come out, they would have never caught him. He was long gone.
Yeah. Well, it seems like all these teams are coming in here looking to run with these Donnie Wilson cars that are coming in with, the William Byrons, the Swalliches, and all the other guys are getting that 22 and Sammy Smith.
Well, everybody's saying that Donnie's got it. He's got it covered right now, and they're all trying to catch up, and they're trying to figure out what he's doing.
When you have Cup money,
yes,
and you have Cup help, because his shop is in North Carolina, and that's what why do you think he likes these Cup guys driving? Because they bring Cup technology, they bring engineers in, and Donnie Wilson's paying good money, and these guys are paying good money to race his cars, and they're not junk. They can be beat. But the problem with a deal like that, and nothing against Donnie Wilson, I think the world of him, but it's ruining super and pro late model racing because it's hurting the small guys.
And in that regard, I just read not too long ago, the Plot boys are getting out because of the technology.
Yep, they quit. They're selling all their stuff. Yep. And they're a front running team.
Very much so.
They were always in the top 5 every single race, and they're quitting. They're hanging their helmets up because of the money. Well, and when Donnie Wilson's got a fleet of cars, tears one up, I'll just grab this one out and run this one. I'll rent this one to so and so, and this one goes over here, and they go all over the country. Yeah. They got that Cup money.
Kyle Plott always qualified well whenever he came out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that 4-car was fast every time he showed up. And it didn't matter if it was down here or not.
No.
You go to Montgomery, Birmingham, and Nashville.
Cordele, he ran good there.
Showed. Yeah, he was fast everywhere he went.
Didn't he win at Cordele? I think he won a pro race at Cordele not too long ago. But the point being, it's so hard for the single car teams to compete with something like that.
You don't share the information or the burden.
No, but they're all in house. He uses they were Rowdy chassis, but now they're Hamke's.
Yeah.
And everything's exclusive Hamke. And Hamke, Kyle Busch owns it. Guess who has Joe Gibbs Racing involved with that? So it's because they're Toyotas, except for when Byron drives, they have to be Chevrolets because he drives for Chevrolet. But when you got all that technology, it's hard to beat it with a single car team, and it's a shame because it's going to hurt.
Overall, it is.
Overall, it's going to hurt pro and super late model racing because his cars are just dominant right now.
Yeah, it's obvious. Mr. Wallach taking the sweep on the weekend, Friday and Saturday night. Dylan Petrico, Gio Ruggiero, Stephen Nasse, and Colin Allman, which we've actually mentioned before, down from 417 at Punta Gorda, comes up here and runs the top 5 on Friday night. Then we go to the Blizzard. So Wallach wins again with the Donnie Wilson stable. Stephen Nasse comes into second with Bubba Pollard and Michael Hine and Jake Garcia. Some of the notables on Saturday night with Augie Grill, Kyle Bryant, and Daniel Dye, Chris Davidson. We've mentioned a lot of those guys every weekend. Right. But it was a great weekend. Modifieds of Mayhem. Cody Strickler comes away with another win.
But we know what stunk about that late model modified race was when they did the dice roll and they kind of screwed Strickler, but he was faster than everybody the whole time. Yeah. And I didn't understand why Augie didn't bring his. He was leading the Modifieds of Mayhem points. Well, now he's not.
Well, he knew that he was also going to be running the pro or the late model
supercar. But I'm going to tell you something. That Cody Strickler put on a clinic, son. Once he got out front, it was like Katie bar the door, son. I'm gone.
Different zip code.
Oh, yeah. Nobody could touch him. He was lifting like 3 car lengths early. And everybody was like, diving off in there. But it was a good race.
Yeah. Well, we talked about modifieds a lot, too. And a lot of it has to do with the ground pounders, the Smart Tour, which are, the different type of modifieds, but modifieds are open wheel, and these modifieds of Mayhem, they really do put on a great show.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a good thing. I just wish they reduced the cost of them, and they would have a bunch more. Just my opinion. As a low buck racer who don't have a lot of money, if you would go to a 604 crate with a stock type transmission with a triple disc clutch and no expensive fancy stuff.
Shocks.
Yeah, no, you do like the Wheelman series. You have, because from what I understand, next year in the Wheelman series, there's going to be 3 packages of shocks you can run, and that's it. And if you get caught outside that, you're parked. That's the way it should be.
Right.
So,
keeping the cost down, among other things, make it reasonably expensive.
Yeah, making it where folks can afford it. Because the Wheelman series is a great idea. And then there was a Wheelman car up here running with the Outlaws the other night. So, going to be good. Going to be good. I look forward to us putting that Wheelman car together and letting me drive it, because it's the first time I'll ever sit in a late model. So they'll probably my only chance to, because I don't have the money. Thanks. Shout out to Ben Cranford for doing what we're doing. You know, I mean, he believes enough in me to put me in that car, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, that's a roundup on the what I want to call the triple header. You got to throw the Modifieds of Mayhem in there on the Saturday night with the Blizzard Series race number 3. And what about this SRX finale at Sharon?
Oh yeah,
I mean, we gotta throw that in there too, because it's an old throwback and a rebirth of the IROC series. And I'm so happy, and I had to bring this up because I'm a huge Marco Andretti fan, and I'm so happy to see him win the championship. Congratulations to Chase Elliott, Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth, 1, 2, 3 at Sharon. But man, Marco Andretti did what he had to do to win a championship, and
he about threw it away too.
Yes, he did. Early getting in with Newman, getting turned around, having it start in the back, worked his way up. They really didn't move. They didn't really move forward, but they stayed where they were, and Stewart just didn't have enough points gap to catch up to him. And I thought, man, when that happened, he just gave it back to Stewart, and Stewart wins again. I'm like, no. But then when Marco won it, it made my night.
There was a really cool tweet they posted on Facebook from his uncle Mario that asked you, or his grandfather's uncle. It's his uncle, isn't it?
I think, yeah.
I think it's uncle. But Mario told him, you know, I'm really praying that you win this championship. And I mean, how cool is that? I mean, what, 4-time Indy 500 winner Mario Andretti?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how awesome is that? And Daytona 500 winner on top of that, stock car driver.
Good to have that heritage behind you.
Yeah, I thought he was going to win the Indy 500 in 05, but Sam Horner's come up there and beat him by a nose. I mean, just kind of drafted off of him, pulled the inside, and got him right at the stripe. And I'm like, all the air went out of my sail when that happened. I'm like, no way.
No.
But it happens, you know. So, but I can't wait for the SRX series to come back to Pensacola next year. I hope they do.
Hope they do.
I know a lot of fans that have watched the SRX series. Not even race fans that I know that have watched the last 2 or 3, they're already missing it. So it's great that it's come back, and I just can't wait for it to come back next season. And hopefully they'll come back to Pensacola, and we'll do it all over again. I do want to give a couple of shout outs here to Jeff Holtz. We don't know Jeff Holtz. We haven't spoke about him. Don't know a whole lot about him, but he won the 50-lap Uptown Motocross Pro Late Model feature at Slinger, which we have talked a lot about. Slinger. Over Jordan DeVoy and Zach Prunty, which is also a relative of some of the Prunties that we've talked about. Alex and Dennis up there in Wisconsin. And a lot of those guys come down and run at Five Flags and the Derby and the Snowflake. So congratulations to Jeff Holtz. There's another one, Ricky Tharp, winning the 73rd Annual National Crown at Anderson. And Anderson is another bull ring that we talk about, and this was a Crown Vic race that Jim has been preaching about to bring here.
Yes.
But it was a figure 8 race.
Exactly.
Ooh.
And to run a 50 or 75 or 100 lap figure 8 race and come over with the win with the Crown Vic, that's got to be impressive.
Oh, dude, I got a big old set of cojones, but I don't think I'd ever want to do a damn figure 8 race. I'm sorry. I just don't think I could. I don't think I got them to do that. I've done 2 demolition derbies, and they were fun, but man, when you get hit a couple times really, really hard in a demolition derby, it's not that much fun, especially when you don't have any safety equipment. You're just strapped in a stock seat and some dude hits you with a 79 Caddy running about 30 miles an hour. It doesn't feel very good. So,
well, there were 3 members of the Tharp family in the race, and only one of them dropped out towards the end, so it's bound to be one of them to come out successful at the end of the race anyway. So,
well, that will just add another question to a guest that's in the studio via phone with us that might have a little insight on a lot of that stuff we just talked about. And to our listeners, I just want to welcome Christian Rose as the driver of the number 42 West Virginia Tourism Almost Heaven Chevy SS in the Arca Menard series. And we got the privilege of talking to him back in September, episode 17. He was on his journey to the Bull Ring at Las Vegas, and then went to Roseville in California, had some great finishes out there. And Christian, I know you've heard from us before and up until now. Thanks for taking your time out to spend some time with us and kind of get a little bit more of our listeners an idea of behind the scenes of like an upper tier race car. Tell us a little bit about from where we left off and what you've been doing from the first part of the year going to New Smyrna and then Daytona.
Yeah, thank you guys, first of all, for having me. I really do appreciate it. It's been a wild ride. I mean, since we last talked, we closed our first full-time sponsor deal with West Virginia Department of Tourism. We would be nowhere without them. I can't thank them enough. And mission and what we're trying to accomplish with them is to bring people to West Virginia, because we have a very beautiful state, and we offer so much from casinos to hiking to, fishing, hunting, everything in between, resorts. So that's what we're trying to do, is just bring as many people to our state. In our first half numbers in the first 6 months, we've reached over 15 million viewers from our analytical side of what we have gotten back. So that's very good. And we're projecting 30 to 40 for a yearly total. So that's very, very cool. But we've gotten to race to places like Daytona, New Smyrna, at your guys' home track at Five Flags, which is one of my favorites, Nashville, Charlotte, the High Banks there, and Pocono and some places like that. So we go to Indianapolis this week, and we're just hoping to turn our luck around a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, let me ask you a question right off the bat. Before I think there were a couple of top 10 finishes in the first two races in the first of the year with New Smyrna. Then you got the big track at Daytona. How did that all develop, and how does that work with the ARCA series?
Yeah, I mean, Daytona is its own animal. So the first two top 10s, we were actually a 7th place car out in Las Vegas, and we got turned around by a lap car, unfortunately, which there was a wreck, and he just misjudged it, and he sent me around, which was unfortunate. But we were a 7th place car out there, and then we go to Roseville for my second ever ARCA race, and we didn't get a chance to qualify, but in practice we were really, really fast. So we drove from 19th, I think is where we started, up to 5th, and we were actually 2/10 faster than the leaders, chasing them down with 50 to go, and caution came out. So very unfortunate, because I think we had at least a top 3 car. And I think, honestly, if it would have stayed green, we were going to have a real shot to win the thing. So it's just unfortunate, but how that played out, once the caution came, it just kept caution after caution after caution. We just never could get a long green run, and that's what we needed. So we were running 5th on the last caution, and we got shuffled out of the groove. We got taken 3 wide and pushed up out of the groove and brought it home 7th. So that's part of it. But then we go to Daytona, which is its complete own animal, and it was its own experience in its own way. It's very, very cool as a fan growing up and going to Daytona, and that being the first track I ever went to. Very cool to get the opportunity, emotional, to pull out on that racetrack for the first time in the test in January. And we were, I think, 5th overall on the board day 2 there out of 40 plus race cars.
Wow.
So we had a very fast race car. We were 6th in practice down there, and then it was just typical Daytona. We jumped up from 20th to, I think we jumped the 9th or 8th or something like that in the first 2 laps, and then we just got shuffled out of the draft by the guy behind us. I forget who it was, but they were just a little anxious, a little too early, and just pushed us up out of the draft. And after that, it was just hard to get back to the front. Track position is so king in all these places. So, but it's been a wild ride in between places. Short tracks, 1.5 miles, 2.5 mile racetracks like Pocono. It's just been a fun ride.
Yeah, Daytona was probably the first big ARCA, not the East and West series that you've been involved with, but Daytona would have been the first ARCA race on the schedule. So did you get? Did you have to go through some sort of licensing to get to that, or does ARCA do it differently, or how does that work?
Basically, I think from what I was told, they check your resume, they see how much you've driven and everything, and what you've driven, and then you have to go to the test in January. And if you go out on the track in January, you don't do anything stupid and don't cause a problem, then they'll allow you to race. And at that point, then it kind of snowballs in the rest of the season. You just have to show you're not going to, impede other drivers, get out of the way if you're getting lapped, not be a problem on the racetrack. And then, they're pretty good about letting you race as long as you show you know what you're doing on the racetrack and you're not going to hurt somebody.
All right. So you have a long-term deal with this ARCA series?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that, we're able to keep sponsorship going to wind back up into 2023, and then hopefully, into some truck stuff. And then our goal is, and I've told everybody, my goal from day 1 of moving to North Carolina was to be a Cup Series champion. And there's a lot of people that are going to laugh at that, but wow. I honestly don't care. That's my goal, and that's where I want to be at. And we're getting better and better. Like I said at Pocono, we started shotgun on the field and drove up to 6th in the first 28 laps or so. So okay. It's my first time at a lot of these racetracks too, and people forget, I've only raced for 3 years, and when I say 3 years, this is my first full-time season getting consistent seat time. So right. Cup Series champs is my goal one day, and we're just going to continue to climb that ladder, hopefully, as long as we have sponsorship to do it.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, never give up on your dream, man.
So your next venture is Indianapolis. Is that correct?
Yeah, so, we leave for Indy tomorrow morning around 8 o'clock, and then we get there, and we're in the Celebrity Go-Kart Challenge Thursday night, which is going to be pretty cool. And then hopefully we'll run in there and have a good qualifying effort and practice effort on Friday and take it in there and try to see where we wind up on Friday. I mean, it's a track that runs a lot like Irwindale. Mm-hmm. It's a place where we were pretty fast on the West Coast. So if it runs the way I think it's going to run, I think we're going to be able to go out there and have a pretty stout finish. We just got to get some luck. As I was talking to you guys in the pre-show, like the luck side has not been on our side this year. And I believe you were saying you're battling a lot of the same things in the races you've run. So you understand it. And if we can get that turnaround going this weekend, if we could come out with a solid finish, it'd be pretty good.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. You don't know what your luck is, and luck is a lot of big part of it. Because I had somebody tell me one time, either be good or lucky. I said I'd rather be lucky than good any day, because I've lucked into a few wins in my own career. So
and out of a few too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been knocked out of the way, spun out. The track threw me out. It's
Stepped
happened.
in the fence. I just
yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I'd rather be lucky than good too. I mean, I believe you breed your own luck, putting the work in. So
right.
We're doing all the right things. We just need something to turn around. And I think we will. The guys believe in what we're doing. The team believes in what we're doing. And every week we seem to show up off the truck faster and faster and faster. It's just once we get one of these finishes, I think we will click them off at a good rate.
Yep.
Yeah, I honestly, I believe that's coming. And that's one of the promos that I put on our Facebook page, that checker flag's coming.
Yep, you adapt very well to racetracks, man. From what I've seen, certain tracks that you go to and you've never been there, and you like I said, it's your first full season in a race car, like Five Flags, man. You took it like a duck to water.
Yeah. And not everybody does it.
It kind of races in a way. I mean, I don't know how to put it. It kind of races like New Smyrna, the same kind of speed and the same feel you have there, but the way the tires wear out is a completely different ballgame. So it's like it and it's not like it in the same facet. So I think, getting to run some of these bigger tracks just allowed me to adapt to short tracks faster. And I think the bigger tracks, the more we go to, the more we're adjusting to them too. So we were a top 10 car right off the truck in Pokrant at 28. And that was pretty cool feeling for us. I think we jumped out 8th on the board, and a bunch of people mocked up towards the back half of the morning, and we didn't mock up till it was about 110 degrees on the racetrack. So we picked up the second and a half time from our race pace and didn't go better than we did in the morning, and that was a mock run. So, but I appreciate you saying that. I'm glad people have noticed how we've been able to pick up on the racetracks. I think that's been a crucial part, and I think when we get to go back to some of these tracks like Phoenix and like the Bull Ring and some of these places coming forward in the fall time, I think we will be able to go perform at a pretty good level.
Right.
We just gotta find a way to finish one of these things. That's what's going to come down to right now.
Yeah, taking good notes and knowing what you know and what you've been through, and you come back the second time is only going to get better, barring situations. As race car drivers, we all know that you just gotta. You got to be at the right place at the right time. You got to stay clean, keep the fenders on it, and pay attention to your notes, which I was pretty horrible at. But I've learned some valuable lessons along the way. So good luck going in. Do you have any further schedules, like going to Michigan the following race, or you just focusing on Indianapolis right now and then just kind of take it race at a time?
Yeah, I try to take it one race at a time. At least we're the studying and the film and everything that goes into a weekend of prep. But I think we're going to bypass Michigan. This is kind of a last-second call. We're going to throw Milwaukee in there. We missed Iowa on the East points, but I think if we can go finish the race and run well at Milwaukee and Bristol, it'll be able to throw us to the top 5 in the points in the East Series, and that's something we talked about. So I think we're going to push Michigan off till next year and run Milwaukee in this place this year.
Well, if you need any assistance with Michigan, just let me know, because I
got you.
I happen to love that. That's one of my favorite tracks. I know how to get around that place.
It's someplace I really want to run. It just, for the points' sake this year, it didn't work out for us. But I think these high-speed racetracks are some places I like. The only place I've gone that I've really been off the moment we got there was Dover, and Dover was its own animal. So,
I've heard a lot of people say that Dover's one of those places that it takes a while to learn how to get around because it's so funky.
It's very sketchy. It's one of those places that especially in the ARCA car, I mean, we were faster. I don't want to don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure we were faster than just about every series there. The only series that was able to keep speeds with what we were running there was Cup. So they brought a new tire compound, and we were a second faster than the cars were in ARCA last year.
Wow.
And it was pretty hell raising. That's the best way I can put it. Getting around Dover, it'll wake you up. I mean, you're running the same speed you're running around Pocono and places like that on a mile racetrack versus a 2.5 mile or a Charlotte 1.5 miles.
I've heard of drivers getting out after qualifying and literally shaking, running around Dover. Literally hands shaking. What's the matter with you, man? That was scary.
It's the first place I can say I've gone to that woke me up. Like, wow, man, this is crazy. So everywhere else we've been up to speed, but Dover for some reason it just did not fit the way I like to drive, and I just could not get that feel of the way the car sat on the right rear, and it just didn't drive through it the way I needed to because I just was worried about it snapping out on me and snapping loose. So something I'm looking forward to going back next year, and it's a challenge I look forward to having again, but it's just a balance around that place of, trusting the car and trusting yourself, but also, hanging on.
Yeah. Well, I know you're going to keep digging, and we're all excited. We've been keeping up since the first time we talked to you back in September and watching your progress and keeping up with everything, and we know it's just going to come. That's why I had to put there that checkered flag is coming. You're going to win one of these one day, but we want to get to this
other adventure.
Another adventure that is kind of in your backyard. It's been in your stable for I don't know how long you started when you were younger, but this first pitch that you threw out at Cincinnati with the Marlins game Monday night. Tell us how that all happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's the story seems to be picking up from baseball player to racer, and more and more people are calling us about it. And I'm very fortunate, very lucky that I've gotten to play. I got to play baseball for 20 plus years of my life, and then roll right into the racing deal. So I've been lucky in that aspect, but to not get there as a player to the major league level, but to be able to walk out in the field as a race car driver, it's pretty full circle, and I'm very fortunate to have that happen. So. Basically, we put some calls in, talked about throwing some first pitches, and we had a notebook going out for our PR guy and everything for a year, and that was on our list. And the Reds graciously let us come out and do it, and then the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to let us do it as well October 3rd. So
right.
We'll be in Pittsburgh signing autographs and doing everything outside the stadium before the game, and then hopefully taking some BP and some stuff with those guys October 3rd.
Inquiring minds want to know. Did they have the radar gun out? How fast was the pitch, and did you throw a strike?
So it would have been a strike, yes. The radar gun was not out. And I didn't let it have it when I could have had it. We had the mascot catch it. COVID rules right now, they're not really letting the players catch it because they don't want to take a chance on one of the guys getting COVID and spread it through the locker room. And next thing we know, we're the reason that the team can't play. But I think it would have been a perfectly placed inside pitch, and I probably threw it about 60%. I wish I could have let it fly, but I was cautious. I didn't want to hurt the mascot. So
yeah. Oh, Coach, this brings up a very interesting question too. Now, if you had the opportunity to be signed with a Major League Baseball team or go Cup racing, what would it be?
Oh wow. Cup racing is really a no-brainer for me on that one. It's a close second for me with baseball, but racing is just something that I can't even put into words how much fun and passion I have towards it. I'm not taking anything away from baseball and how much I love the sport and how much I love the game. I'm still a diehard O's fan. I've been checking the score while we've been talking on and off. But I think racing 1,000%. If I had a chance to go Cup racing, I'd turn the lottery down and go Cup racing.
Oh, I hear you. I'm right there with you on that one. Yeah.
Hey man, whoever's going to pay the bill, they want to put us in the Cup car, we'll sign up in a heartbeat.
That's right. That's right. I'd be right. I'd be your teammate. That's for sure. It wouldn't matter.
That's a dream.
That's it.
That's a dream for sure.
Has been mine since I was 9 years old, but I'm stuck at the short track level, but I'm having fun. I'm still enjoying it, and I still
and that's
like
what it's about. That's what it's about. Racers are racers. It doesn't matter where you're racing and what level you're racing at. And, if you can go out and compete and have a shot at victory and chance to chase trophies, I mean, that's all you can ask for, and that's a pretty cool deal.
Amen to that. I totally agree.
Yeah, they can't put it in you, and you can't take it out.
No, it's a drug.
That's as true as it gets.
Yep. I tell people it's my version of crack. I've been addicted to racing. It's like my version of crack because
it's addicting. I mean, I remember the first time I got in a race car. I remember them ripping the window net down and looking at me, being like, "You love it?" And I was like, "I love it." They're like, "You'll never get out of one."
Yeah.
They looked at my mom and they're like, "You're in trouble because he's never going to want to step out of that race car."
No.
They've been right.
Yeah,
I've been right. So.
My mom wouldn't even. She watched me race the first time I ran, and the second time I raced, I hit the wall really, really hard. This old junk Charger that I had, and she said, "No more." She goes, "I can't come out there." She goes, And when I used to race late at night in Opp, Alabama, and I'd come home, I kept my car at my parents' house. I'd back down the driveway about 2 a.m. and the porch light would come on. My mom would stick her head out. "You all right, boy?" "Yes, ma'am." "All right, well, I'll see you tomorrow." She just.
See, my mom's different. My mom gives me more hell than most of the guys do if we've had a race. So my team kind of, likes that aspect of it. They're like, "Well, you didn't do well." So,
Thanks, Mom.
It's good to have that kind of courage. She's joking, and most of the way she says, at least I hope she is. But she's a good sport about it. But yeah, she's seen me hit the fence. She's seen everything. She's been tough about it. So
I think she's probably figured out that motivation button. Yeah. She knows what drives you and knows how to get to you, and you're in a really good situation right now, and we're excited to keep up with it, and just really proud of you representing West Virginia, even though we're in Florida. But we're all it's all a race community here with Short Track Guys podcast. We love short track racing, and we're so happy to have you here, and I wish you all the best in the world. Thanks again for spending the time with us, and we will hashtag it. This is Christian Rose, the driver of the number 42 West Virginia Tourism Almost Heaven Chevy SS in the Arkham Menard Series. Christian, thanks so much, and get some rest and get that mind right, and let's go win one.
Yeah, thank you guys. We're gonna find a way to win one, and especially with the way our luck's been all year. I wouldn't be surprised if we back into one 40 years all over. I'll take it either way, but I think we'll keep developing in a way to where we're going to be fighting for a lot of wins. But watch out for us. Our team's got a lot of momentum with the speed we've been going, so I'm telling you, something good's going to happen for us. And if it's been any kind of replacement for the luck we've had this year, it wouldn't surprise me if we find a way to back it to a win somewhere. So, but thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for having me on and allowing me to tell my story and share all this. And, we appreciate you guys, and hopefully we'll see y'all come Derby time sometime.
Well, if you do get to come down for the Derby, get with us, and we'll take you out to eat. If your wife's with you, we'll all go out to have a dinner. And we can,
we'll find something.
We'll do some good dinner.
You guys tell me where to go. We'll be there.
All right, that sounds great. And man, like I said, we're all fans. And my girlfriend is she's from West Virginia. She was born in Ripley. And she saw that you had West Virginia inside of her car. She was there with me that night, and she was so excited.
That's so freaking cool. And that's what it's all about, right, with our partnership in West Virginia. What we're trying to do is so many people across the country, everywhere we go, have come up to us and explain their story of where they come from in West Virginia, and it's been very cool to have that partnership. So if you guys help us out, and anybody listening, hashtag Almost Heaven, help us get those numbers up and help us keep tourism on the race car, because we want to keep sharing our story and keep pushing this, and we want to bring as many people to our beautiful state as possible. So.
Just one trip across the New River Gorge Bridge will take care of that. It's beautiful up there.
Yeah, you've got our support. There's no doubt about that, and we're going to continue doing that and keeping up with you. And if there's anything you to do other than that, then we're going to be here, and where we are. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you.
Well, we're going to keep plugging away at it, guys. So thank you guys so much. We're looking forward to it. Hopefully, we'll have something to talk about next time of us holding a trophy or a checker flag sometime.
Yes, sir. That sounds good. And I know there will be a next time for sure.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Christian. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon.
You too, guys. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Okay, well, that was Christian Rose, driver of the 42 West Virginia Tourism Almost Heaven Chevy SS in the Arkham Menard Series. And, guys, that's pretty cool. I mean, the guys... the first episode we got with him, he not been in a race car. And then, if you want to go back to episode 17, Racing Has a Rose, and listen to that story, you get the idea of what we're talking about and how incredible this really story is that we're involved with and where he's come with this. And
sneaking in the fence at Daytona.
Yeah.
To racing at Daytona. So
yeah, exactly. So in less than 8 months. Wow. So it's pretty incredible. And, what can I say more than that?
Let's let the other cat of the fence. How about NASCAR actually throwing guys out like short track? The reason why I bring it up is because short track racing, if you're caught illegal, you get sent home. You get your trophy taken away from you. You get sent to the house. They sent not only one Joe Gibbs Toyota home, but two Joe Gibbs Toyota, and gave the win to Chase Elliott, which Chase said he doesn't like to win that way. But I'm sorry. I want my trophy. If I had to go to Denny Hamlin's house and collect it, I would collect my trophy. That's mine. You lost. You cheated.
You got caught.
It was all over a 5-inch piece of clear tape underneath the wrap.
Well, illegal's illegal.
Well, NASCAR said do not mess with the parts as they come from the manufacturer, and they put that tape under there, and they had to pull the wrap off. And everybody said, why didn't they catch it before the race? Because they're not going to peel the wrap off a car before the race.
No.
But after the race, they are. And what I wonder if someone didn't rat them out.
Well, it's happened here.
Yeah.
I don't know about there, but
Well, think about it. Maybe a disgruntled Joe Gibbs employee got fired, or someone's mad, and you go in, hey, they're doing this little tape thing underneath the wrap. Yeah, they got to peel the wrap off and catch them.
Wait, look, it's right there.
Crazy.
yeah, pointing at it. No, it's clear. We can't see it. That's a problem.
If you peel the damn wrap off, you can see it. Just this corner, right?
Well, it's like, at the Snowball Derby, you've got 70-something cars to tech. And they don't have that many there, but they've got so many more points to try to catch. And it's just really difficult.
Well, you do a pre-race tech, you do the bodies, and you do all the stuff you're supposed to do. If they're trying to do something else, and they get caught, then, and what I can say about, I'd say Joe Gibbs are taking their lumps. They said, hey, we didn't know, we're caught, we're busted, we're not going to try to appeal it, we're just going to take our, how many points we lose, and this race gets taken with it. But I'm glad to see NASCAR taking races away.
Yes.
Richard Petty should truly only have 199 because in Charlotte, he had a big motor. And Darrell ended up second, and that would have given Darrell Waltrip another win. Just saying. But because, his brother, Maurice Petty, was running, they were pushing the car down pit road. He was saying, I'm claiming 383, and it was supposed to be 355.
Oh.
Yeah, that motor was huge. And they put left side tires on the right side, which is illegal also. But they let the wind stand. But, it's the king. I get it. Yeah. But it's about time. It's been, I think they said it was 60 years. No. Yeah, 60
years since
1960.
1960 is what it was. Yeah, they threw out Joe Weatherly got tossed. What's funny is the Clown Prince of Racing got tossed twice in the same year for illegal parts. But, I agree with it. I do. I'm going to first step up and say I agree with it because, like I said, in short track, you get busted, you get that trophy and that money taken away from you, and bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing should happen at every level.
Exactly. If you're cheating, you're cheating. You should get caught. I get it's your idea it's your deal to push the envelope, and you can try it. But when you get caught, don't cry about it.
When you burn the envelope, that's something completely different.
Yeah, and that's something we don't do because we're short track guys, and we talk about what's straight.
That's it.
And if you're not straight, then you go home.
Yeah.
So
that's
deal with it.
It is what it is.
That's why I brought it up because we do it in short track, and now NASCAR's finally saying if we catch you, because they said do not mess with these manufacturer parts as they come from the manufacturer on these cars. And I have to admit the racing's been pretty good since they went to this new car. I was kind of skeptical at first, and there's actually some lower tier teams that actually can run up front with this car. It's not like it was before. I mean, Michael McDowell's had a great performance this year. He's running in the top 10 in a lot of races, and that's pretty good. But the big surprise is, and my new driver is Ross Chastain, because I just love the fact that, Denny Hamlin got him with a scalpel, but when Ross Chastain retaliates to Denny Hamlin, it's going to be with a sledgehammer.
It won't be pretty.
It won't be pretty.
Well, that's all going to be played out in the future, and we can't wait to hear about that also. But, August 12th, coming up, the reviews, Christian Rose, up-and-coming superstar here in the ARCA Series race. We just had him on. Guys, I don't think there's anything other than this 1, 2, 3 thing that we've started a few episodes ago. You guys remember what we did?
I think I do. I think I recall.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go, Brandon. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.